to this episode of Kalani Live. I decided to do a live video episode this time. I'm so glad you joined me. And if you're listening to the podcast, consider coming to kalanimusic.com and you can listen to and watch the video there. And this is also going to be available on fluteharvest.com, which is one of the subjects of this presentation. So thanks again for joining me. I've got a lot of great news for you guys coming up and some cool music with some really interesting instruments I want to share with you. So I travel all over the world. Usually every year I go somewhere. This last year I was in Japan, I was in Malaysia, and I was in Hong Kong. I love traveling. I love my work. It's not really work. I get paid to play music with people, which is wonderful. And I know a lot of you that listen to this podcast and that follow my work are also interested in sharing your passion of music with people, and not only that, but helping people through music. And I'm excited because I get to help you, you get to help other people. So together we get to help potentially thousands and tens of thousands and hundreds of thousands and maybe millions of people throughout our work and throughout our lifetime. And it's a really wonderful gift to be able to do that. So I'm very appreciative of that opportunity, and I want to thank you. If you are someone in a helping profession, or you want to just make music for enjoyment, for your family, your friends, or maybe for clients, thank you for doing that as well. Music is dear to our hearts. It's a unique process. There's nothing else like it. It crosses all sorts of cultural boundaries and language boundaries and gender boundaries and generational gaps, and it's just a wonderful tool. So with that in mind, on the theme of helping people through music, I want to tell you about an event that's coming up in this October. This is 2014, coming up the end of October, the 27th to the 31st, and that's called Flute Harvest. And Flute Harvest was created by me and my co-presenters, Clint Goss and Vera Goss. And I can't say enough about Clint and Vera. They're just wonderful people. We met at a drum camp that I was presenting a number of years ago. And sometimes people come to events of mine, maybe they're a little quiet, a little reserved, and they just kind of hang back. But I knew when I heard Clint and Vera play music together, I knew that there was something going on there that was pretty special. And after we got to know each other a little bit better, I found out that they are trained and certified in Music for People, the Music for People approach to facilitating music making, which is really amazing. And then I found out that Clint is not only a PhD, he's also the creator and curator at flutopedia.com and clintgoss.com. And if you haven't been to Flutopedia, if you're a flute fan or you are an amateur flute player, or even if you're not, please do yourself a favor and go there, and you'll see what an amazing teacher and resource Clint is. And he is going to be presenting with me at Flute Harvest. And so not only are Clint and Vera just some of the nicest people I've ever met, there are fabulous resources, fabulous teachers. And I'm going to put some links in the comment section of this video, and I'd like you to click on some of those and go do some of your own exploration. It's more than I can cover here, but if you're listening to this on the podcast, again, go to the YouTube. You can go to my YouTube channel, you can go to my website. My YouTube channel is Kalani Music in YouTube. And I'll put some links there, and please go check out these resources. Clint has so many wonderful videos, articles, research, and all of this stuff is going to be coming into Flute Harvest, by the way. So why would you want to come to Flute Harvest? Well, first of all, we're going to be covering everything there is to cover about the Native American flute and beyond. But some of the things that Clint and I are both going to cover are research into some of the benefits of flute play. And many of you probably know this intuitively, that there's certain psychological, physical, emotional, and spiritual benefits to active music making, whether it's for therapeutic purposes or recreational purposes. Even educational, if you're just into the flute as a performance modality for yourself, learning how to play, learning songs, playing with other people, you're going to be receiving benefits. And what Clint has done is he's done a great job of identifying a lot of these benefits and looking at them from a scientific perspective and presenting them through research papers, through articles, and through his website and his writings. And so you're going to get exposed to all that. Clint also has done a wonderful job putting together presentations on the history of the flute all across the world, the construction of the flute, the mechanics of the flute, so you really start to understand everything about the instrument, not only from the physical components, how to play it and what it is, but the historical and cultural contexts. And then, of course, we're going to be talking about music and how to make music, how to improvise music. And the thing that I'm really excited about for Flute Harvest is that you could be a seasoned musician who reads and writes music, who understands music theory, and you'll get plenty of new information that you will find useful and challenging. And at the same time, if you're a complete novice and you don't know how to read and write music, and a lot of people think that you need to know how to read and write music to be musical, to play music, and that is absolutely not true. And what Clint is an expert at, and Vera as well, and what I do is we all teach people how to be musical and how to play music without the need for a formal music education. And that's really exciting. So if you're thinking, oh, I don't know, I don't play and I'm going to be intimidated and I might feel, you're exactly the kind of person who should come to Flute Harvest, because it's going to be a really welcoming, accepting, nurturing environment for learning how to be musical wherever you are in your journey. I'm also going to be teaching improvisation classes, and actually we all are. Vera's doing poetry and flute playing. I'm teaching a class on other instruments that go with the flute. And here's an example. This is called a happy drum, and I use this all the time when I create recreational and therapeutic music making experiences, and I use this in my work as a music therapist as well. This is a wonderful instrument, and this blends perfectly with the flute. And as you can see, it's very easy to play. I'm just tapping with my fingers. So the happy drum is one instrument that we'll be using. I'll show you all about that. Here's another instrument from hardwood music. This is a tongue drum or slit drum. And this is the wood version of the instrument that I just showed you. So I usually play these with two hands. I'm gonna use one hand here because I wanna hold this up so you can see it. Just tapping very gently with my fingers. I love this instrument. It's called the tongue drum. This one is particularly harmonious with the flute, and I worked with Hardwood Music to design this model. If you're curious about this, you can contact them at Hardwood Music. Look them up on Google, Hardwood Music, and ask for the Kalani model. We're also going to be using other instruments like the Kalimba or Imbira. This is an electric Kalimba, and this one sounds like this. I'll move up a little closer so you can see. So we're not just about the flute at Flute Harvest, we're about music, we are about people, we're about wellness, we're about helping people through music. If you'd like to come and experience the flute for the first time, you can get a flute there. This flute is from High Spirits. It's an A, Sparrowhawk in A, made from Spanish cedar. And I want to just show you how affordable and how beautiful the flute is for beginners. This flute you can get for around $100, and this is in A, and it blends with all these instruments that I just showed you. And here's what this sounds like. All right, so, that for an instrument that sounds like that, to get into some instrument like that for the cost of a nice dinner and a movie is amazing. Nice dinner and a movie for two. That's just amazing to me. I've used the flute in music education. I use it with children. I use the flute in music therapy settings with my groups for people with traumatic brain injury and developmental disabilities. I've used the flute for hospice care, to play for somebody who is bedridden, who is working on just relaxing and feeling better, not focusing on things that might cause them anxiety. And I've seen so many wonderful things happen just from my experiences as a result of this little instrument that you can put in a backpack, you can take it in your luggage, you can travel with it just about anywhere. There's even small flutes, very tiny flutes you can put in your pocket. So we're going to show you so many exciting things at Flute Harvest. I really hope you can join us. We've got some specials, so go to fluteharvest.com, check it out, look into it, and then register if you think it's a good fit for you. I think it will be. If you have any questions, you can contact me at kalanimusic.com, and you guys can find me online. I'm on Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, all that stuff. So be in touch if you have any questions. Go to Clint's website, Flutopedia, and clintgoss.com, and we will see you at Flute Harvest this October.